Hey, what's up, everybody? What's happening with Stuff in TCG, and we have another episode of TCG Gambit. So today we are actually going to talk about how to play a combo deck. We're going to learn how to play a combo deck, and this is going to translate into multiple TCGs. So even if you guys don't play like Flesh and Blood, but you play Magic, if you don't play Magic, but you play Yu-Gi-Oh, so on and so forth. Most of these properties will transition from card game to card game. So what exactly is a combo deck? Well, that's actually the tricky part because a lot of people have a lot of different definitions, but most of that becomes learned from a bias from that specific card game. Like, for instance, if you play Magic the Gathering, you might only think something like Thassa's Orchid Mono Consultation if you play Commander is like a combo. Like something that's it's A plus B. If you play Flesh and Blood, you might think something like Lumina Ascension combo is a combo. You might think the Aether Wildfire is a combo. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh, you might think whatever deck you sleeve up is a combo. And while all these are technically true, let's actually talk about the base fundamentals of what a combo actually is. It's a collection of cards when synergized together in a certain turn or a certain cycle that either gives you an overwhelming advantage or always secures a win. Right? For example, something that might give you overwhelming advantage is creating infinite mana in Magic the Gathering. Now, there are times where creating infinite mana just wins you the game, but if you don't have an outlet for that infinite mana, you still pulled off a combo, but you didn't win. And that's where a lot of people get confused. People think because you combo off, you have to win. No. A combo can result in a win, but it's largely just to get an overwhelming amount of advantage that, again, likely leads into the win. Flesh and Blood. Let's go back to Flesh and Blood. I actually think one of the combos in the game that doesn't really translate when people think about it. Now, this is not a combo deck, but this is a combo. Rain Razor's 3 of a kind. Now, think about it, guys. If you play again like Magic the Gathering, this is a 2-card combo. This 2-card combo doesn't just win the game, though. It just creates overwhelming advantage. You see the difference. Think about Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Just the infinite, like, hand loops. Like, hand looping is technically a combo, right? Like playing windups, that's a combo. Doesn't win you the game on the spot. Gives you overwhelming advantage. Right? Technically, you can call locking an opponent out with multiple cards a combo. Like the dupe lock. One card says you can only attack this one. Another card says you can only attack this one. Well, both of these things are saying I can only attack that one. So I try to attack this one, but it says I can only attack that one. So I wanted to attack that one, but that one says I can only attack that one. That's a combo. All combos are not created equal. There are some very bad combos in games. But what I'm getting at is we want to identify what a combo is. Now, when it comes to a deck centered around a combo, largely this is trying to result in an immediate win. Let's again look back at Flesh and Blood and the Aether Wildfire combo. Now, there are times where you can shoot this off, not win the game, get a large advantage, but largely this is there to win the game on the spot. So, how do we go about playing our combo in Flesh and Blood? If you guys don't play Flesh and Blood, that's fine. Just follow along. You'll just kind of pick up on what I'm saying with some of the lingo. So you're aiming to play usually 3 cards. So instead of an A plus B combo, this is an ABC combo. You're aiming to play Aether Wildfire, any middle spell, Blazing Aether. Aether Wildfire says, for however much damage it deals, all cards that do arcane damage get pumped by that much. So if it deals 4, everything gets pumped by 4. If it deals 20, everything gets pumped by 20. so on and so forth. Your middle spell. Let's just use the most generic combo that most Kanos we use. You're going to play a card called Lesson Lava. This is a card for, if it deals damage, for however much damage it dealt, you can search for a wizard card equal to or less than the damage dealt, put it on top of your library. And then the card that always ends the combo, Blazing Aether. Blazing Aether deals X, where X is the number, which is the amount of arcane damage that was dealt this turn. Right? So you'll deal damage with Aether Wildfire. Let's just say 4. You'll play your Lessons Lava. It comes in for a base of 3. But it sees that Lesson Lava dealt 4. So it'll now deal 7. Blazing Aether will see that Aether Wildfire did 4. Your middle spell, which is Lessons in Lava, did 7. So it's 11. But it'll also see that Aether Wildfire's effect will give it plus 4, 15. There you have it. That's a lot of times a Gambit in combo. You can kill a lot of opponents from that lethal range in this game, right? But reaching that is not just as easy as drawing it. You don't just, you don't just have your cards and you're just, oh, I draw, I win. Getting to that combo is not easy, especially when your opponent knows your game plan. A lot of times, there's 2 ways to attack a combo deck. You tax its resources, you tax its life total. You tax its life total by just trying to kill them. In every card game, just kill them. They can combo off at 1 HP. Can't combo off at 0 unless you're playing, first one, and you're playing ad nauseum, but semantics. Taxing the combo. Now, let's say you're playing Magic the Gathering, and your combo relies on like a Freed from Neural combo where you have to tap and untap things constantly. Well, how do you stop that? You play any piece that says, like, creatures don't have activated abilities. Creatures can't untap. Or just remove it. Now, this stuff might seem obvious on the surface, but we're learning from the combo side what people are going to do to attack us. Now, let's square away specifically on Flesh and Blood for a moment. Like, take my hand, let's specifically talk about Flesh and Blood. And let's circle back to that Kano deck. Largely, how you're going to set up this combo is you're going to put, like, your Aether Wildfire in your arsenal. That's the easiest way to do it. Put the Aether Wildfire in the arsenal. Have the lessons in your hand. The rest of the combo plays itself. Now, what are your goals as a combo deck, specifically Kano and Flesh and Blood, once you get your combo piece? Number 1, protect your combo piece. And this applies for all card games where your combo is a permanent base, like on the field base combo. Technically, because of how the arsenal works in Flesh and Blood, that we're going to say this is a permanent base combo. There are worlds where you can combo completely from your hand and the top of your deck, but a lot of times you're going to have one of your combo pieces in the arsenal. This is going to be a permanent base combo deck. Step number 1, protect your combo. People are going to try to use all their removal in the world. Play Magic, people are going to try to use all the counter magic in the world. People are going to try to use floodgates. They're going to try to use their monsters on ETB, try to take out your back row, or try to rip cards from your hand. They're going to attempt to disrupt you. Your whole goal is to literally say, I am now a brick wall. Once you have that Luminous Engine, once you have the Aether Wildfire in your arsenal, Your sole goal is to survive. You aren't. You can dig if you end up having extra resources. That's cool. You can do that. But if you don't have excess resources, which a lot of times you shouldn't, your sole goal is to not die and to not lose this combo piece. I could be at 10 life when I get my Aether Wildfire Arsenal. Until I'm ready to combo off, it's going to sit right here. I'm going to use every last card that I have in my hand to keep my life total as high as possible. That's your sole goal. Your sole goal is to not be the aggressor. You're not here to do anything fancy. You're here to protect yourself. In Yu-Gi-Oh, it's kind of different. Sometimes you already have stuff on the field. You already have permanents on the field already in Yu-Gi-Oh sometimes. Sometimes you're keeping them in hand. Sometimes it relies on you playing one thing and then just chaining a bunch of stuff together. Now in Yu-Gi-Oh that kind of matters where you go first or second, how hand traps work. Like, unfortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh plays on a slightly different axis than all the other card games when it comes to how things work. You have one card combos that just go into infinite amounts of advantage that can just win the game based off of you just having one of like 6 cards in your hand, and you can have full combo. It's kind of unfortunate that you can't draw 1-for-1 parallels all the time. That's how it works. But obviously when it comes to things like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, like a lot of these things can translate. So we're protecting our combo. That's square one. Once we get it. Now, number 2 is going to seem counterintuitive. Because you would think it actually come before number 1. But because of how deck building works, it actually becomes secondary. Finding your combo. Now, how do we find our combo? Like, obviously, the easiest way to find your combo is just to draw extra cards rather than the normal. Rather, like in Flesh and Blood, it's playing tomes or banishing stuff off the top of your deck with Kano to get rid of cards. In Magic, it's just simply there's a lot of cards that just draw. Same thing, there's a lot of cards that just draw. But because you're a combo deck, and largely everything in your deck is about the combo, you shouldn't really have to dig that much to get your combo. Now, unless your combo is just like a very small portion of your deck, like technically in Flesh and Blood, you only have 9 copies of the cards I named in that. You have 3 copies of each. So in that game, finding the combo is a little bit harder. But seeing how you draw multiple cards at the end of your phase, you're able to banish stuff at instant spell off top of your deck to like dig for your combo pieces earlier. I think you'll be alright. Now, let's go circle back to Flesh and Blood specifically, because again, that's the current card game I'm in, right? So, we're always making sure to protect ourselves. Number 1, keep our life total high. Number 2, we're digging for our combo. Now, number 3, if we have excess resources, and only if we can't use those resources to draw, and those resources aren't the combo itself, then we can look to be the aggressor. In Flesh and Blood, this is, well, I have 2 cards in my hand. Why don't I activate Crucible, Aether Stone for 5? I don't actually have to deal that much damage for what I'm doing to be impactful. Normally, that's dealing a minimum of 2 damage. Minimum of 2. And it's allowing you to opt, so now it has added utility. That's the only time that's okay. Trading life for your own damage is how you're going to lose games. because you're going to get very, very tunnel visioned and like, someone's like swing like 9 at me, but like I can do like 6, and like I know I'm kind of losing that trade, but because I have this, like it's kind of fine. Like, so let's slow down. Let's think about our objectives. Does this trade actually make sense? And and the thing is, sometimes trading life is fine, even if it's a negative trade. Sometimes it's fine. Very conditionally, it's fine. It's not universally fine all the time. It's going to take time. It's not going to just take one video for you to learn when it's okay to trade live. For those who play with illusions, it's similar to trading live for a board state. How much damage are you willing to take to establish a dragon? If you're playing Mechanologist, how much life are you willing to take to establish this item? And normally, you should only be able to do that if it is quote unquote free. If you're having to give up like 10, 12, 15 life and all the tempo in the world to establish something, it's probably incorrect. Something is going drastically wrong if that's the conclusion that you're coming to. When I played Control Dash, which is more like a control combo deck, right? A lot of times my principle was I wasn't willing to take more than 6 damage to establish an item. If on a turn cycle I was going to take more than 6, I wasn't going to try to play the item. I was going to try to block out arsenal the item. A lot of times it's just not worth it. Your life as a combo deck is very, very, very precious because a lot of times you're more fragile. Let's circle back to Kano. You have 30 health compared to everyone's 40. You already start 10 less life than your opponents. Look at your armor. Your armor blocks so much worse than your opponents. But you're trading that for a very potent combo. You have to understand the give and take here. Your deck is not meant to be resilient. Your deck is meant to be able to be disrupted. But that doesn't mean you always have to. You can fight back against the disruption. You know how many times I'll get my combo piece turn 1, turn 2, and I just turn into some type of control deck and I'm just blocking out every single turn? People are like, well, you could have dealt a little chip damage here. As long as I dealt like a few damage, like maybe like 6, 7 damage throughout the early to mid game when I had extra resources, I'm fine. I'm fine where I'm at. Any other damage is just extra. It's luxury. People have this fascination with luxury in TCGs. They see an opportunity and they think they just have to take it. No. It's just like let's say you're playing League of Legends, right? I know a lot of my viewers have played things like League. If you're ahead by 10,000 gold, your opponent has nothing in their jungle. You have every part of their jungle warded. Do you need to put a ward on Baron or the Dragon Pit? Do you need to? What is that getting you? Are you accomplishing anything? Are you gaining any information you didn't know before? Well, cool. They literally didn't pass any of the wards in their jungle. I don't know how they would have made it to one of the other objectives. And let's just say they could. They can't just arbitrarily start the objective. They're going to get wiped. They're going to lose whatever fight they try to take. But instead of investing in the items or investing in the tempo or just taking the objective outright, you chose to get something luxury because it felt good. In Flesh and Blood, it feels good to deal damage to people. It feels really good. In Magic, it might feel good to turn your creature sideways every turn. And also in Magic, it might feel good just to counter whatever your opponent's playing. That's luxury. Did you need to do that? Did you doing that actually change the outcome of who's winning or losing? Did it actually accomplish anything? If you held that, was there a better opportunity? You taking this 60-40 when you actually could have taken a 90-10. Or because you had some gleamer in your eye and you fought over something you didn't need. You fought over something that's just extra. That's probably one of the biggest issues I find when people play combo. Is they bite off more than they can chew. Let's say you're that candle player again. You have Aether Wildfire in your arsenal. What else are you looking for? Especially for, let's say your opponent's at 30. You don't need to be the aggressor anymore. If your opponent's swinging for 12, cool, block 12. Your opponent's swinging for 20, cool, block 12. Your opponent's swinging for 6, cool, block 6. Now you have an option. Now you have some extra cards. Maybe you can chip some damage in there. But your goal is not to just blindly force it. That's how you're going to lose games. Lastly, let's talk about deck building. How do we play a combo deck starting from square one when it comes to deck building? How do we do that? Well, first you need to establish what your combo is and how it's going to win you the game. Let's go to Magic. If your goal is to make infinite mana, well, if you don't have an outlet for the infinite mana, what is it doing for you? It's not doing anything for you. Let's say your goal is to make 1,000 squirrels or something. Well, it might be cool to say, I'll pass my turn. But now you're running at risk. What if someone has a board wipe and you can't stop that? Now this is where you have two sides you can go to, right? You can go to investing in counter magic to protect your combo, or B, you can look for instant payoffs for your combo. So the counter magic is obviously the counter magic, the protection. Or you can invest in something like haste. Let's say you can just give you make 1,000 squirrels, you can give them all of them haste. Well, there you go. That's how you start the deck building process. When I play Flesh Mill, when I play Bolton, and I'm playing Luminous Engine combo, well, what are the first things I do? I put the Luminous Engine, I put the Beacon of Victories in there. I put Courage of Blade Hold, I put my Centauri Sabers. Now, secondarily, I'm going to build around that. Now, funny enough, the combo is also the payoff in this situation, playing Bolton. So we can start going, okay, well, what are the enablers? Well, that's the charge cards. So now, what are the best charge cards I can be playing? Do I have to play all of them? Okay, I have to play all of them. If I don't play all of them, great. Just like in Yu-Gi-Oh! If your combo is actually a very small part of your engine that you can easily get to, you can start surrounding that with either protection or payoffs. Sometimes both. Same thing in Flesh and Blood, same thing in Pokemon, same thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Start with your combo, how you're going to win the game. Find the payoffs. Then go to secondary payoffs, enablers, protection. Whichever one you're willing to choose. Now, me personally, now at the very top end, you have two different roads that you can go again. You can either choose to be Glass Cannon, or you can choose to have more efficiency and be able to play like a more normal game. Let's take an example of a Glass Cannon combo deck. Let's think about Neoform. Any Gristlebrand based deck in Magic the Gathering. Neoform is probably like one of the decks I played the most. You're very all in on winning turn 0, turn 1, turn 2. Your deck sucks. Besides the turn that's going off. Your deck just sucks. There's nothing I can tell you to make it different. Your deck fundamentally sucks. That's why you are all in on winning that turn that you choose to go off. Because what are you going to do when the turn switch is not going off? You don't run that many lands. You don't have that much counter magic. Your creatures are either hard to get out or they suck. And then the other cards are very niche and don't really apply to like the average board state. That's an example of a glass cannon aggro deck. Now, let's actually say Magic Gathering, another combo deck that I actually just absolutely love. Let's talk about Amulet Titan. Amulet Titan can be seen technically as a glass cannon aggro deck, combo deck, but in my opinion, it's not. For people that have actually played the Amulet Titan deck, you know its actual grind game is really good. It can sometimes just function as a normal deck that just is able to combo. That's how the deck was built. The deck is built with all these utility lands that have all these special effects. You have really creatures that have all these various utility effects. Your active creatures just aren't that terribly statted either. You have multiple options. If your combo doesn't work, your deck's fine. Maybe a little bit worse, but still fine, still very playable. You have those two ways you can build your deck. Now which way you build your deck, that's up to you. Just know the risks of both. The glass cannon aggro deck is going to be very fire, very explosive, largely able to win or get just too much advantage in one go. Very, 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 very explosive. If it gets stopped, deck's bad. Versus the other more normal combo deck, right? The Amulet Titan. You're not as explosive. I mean, you have the ability to just get a large amount of advantage. But it might take a few extra steps. Might be a little harder. Maybe you just get, if the other deck gets a 90 out of 100, like on the max like advantage scale, you might be sitting like a 65, 70. Still pretty good, but still less than the other deck. But the bell curve of how your deck plays, you're like the explosive deck all the way up here, then it's all the way down here. That's all the way up here, then it's all the way down here. But the Amulet Titan deck is like this. It could go up there. Sometimes it can go down here too, but it's more stable. It can be very stable. Like I said, building a combo deck, learn how to play a combo deck is largely choose your own adventure. You have multiple avenues of how you want to build it, how you want to play it. Just remember the key principles of when it comes to deck building, and then remember, we're going to protect ourselves, then we're going to look for our combo, then we're going to be able to play more of the aggro deck, then we can push the tempo. But remember, don't try to push the tempo if you haven't secured the combo piece. If you don't have the ability to protect yourself, don't do that. Always look to protect yourself first. Find the combo, then play for tempo. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys learned something, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys want to see next. It's your boy, from TCG. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.